Okay, um, uh, uh, can somebody confirm that they can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
We are going to wait for a few minutes. Um, then we will start.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Okay. Good evening, everyone. So, we will wait for around 4 or 5 minutes so new people can join. Then we will start. When the people are joining, may I know where are you from? Like the place you are joining this meeting? Some of you maybe can tell.
Vijayawada KL University.
Okay.
Indore, Madhya Pradesh, sir.
Okay, okay, Tejasvi. And uh, others? What about others? Where are you guys from?
Kolkata, West Bengal, sir.
Okay, so you are a master's or what? Are you like a student or what? You are working somewhere?
Sir, I'm
Origin,
a student.
a student. Okay. Okay, now I think we can start. So, good evening, everyone. To welcome to week six of problem solving and doubt clearing session for the course, The Joy of Computing Using Python. So, I will start with one problem that was asked to me during last week tutorial session, and it was about what does a map function do in Python. So, whoever have asked that question, is he around or if if he if he is here, uh, please let me know. So I will start with that. So map function in Python, it works like this. So you have to have a well-defined function, and then you have to have a iterable like numbers. Numbers is a list here. So what it does, it takes one argument of that iterable as a argument of function, and it calculates some value and returns it. And then what you are doing, you have written list and applied a bracket. So what it does actually, so let's say how it works. Let's say you have defined a function square. So it takes a value and returns its square like x and star star 2. That means x power 2. Now you have a iterable. Iterable, that means something we can iterate through. Like for this numbers, we can use Python and we can print each number, right? So that means we can iterate through it. Now what what we are doing, we are using map, and then we are providing it a function, and then we are giving it a iterable. Now what it does, it takes each value of these iterable and takes as argument and returns the uh, the value defined in the function. So for 1 it will take 1 as argument, and then 1 square is 1. For 2 it will take 2, and 2 square is 4. 3 its square is 9, and 4 is 16. And now whatever it's returning, you are placing it inside a list. So you will have a list of squared numbers. So the output will be 1, 4, 9, 16. So today I have thought like I will start with I will I will use Google Colab for this session. So I will write the Python scripts in Google Colab, and the reason being like I in this way I can share the codes with you. So whatever we have practiced here can be directly shared with you, so that in later on you can watch it and ask question, or maybe you can learn from it. So whatever you want to do, you can have at least you can have at least a, a practiced code whatever we have written here. So later on you can practice it on your own. Okay, so I will share this Google Colab notebook that so. For those who are not familiar with, you can search it online using Google Colab. So for accessing this Google Colab notebook, you should have a valid Google account, a Google Gmail account, and you can just sign in and you can create your notebook. It it exactly works how a spider works, but it works like a notebook, so you can run each cell differently. Like for in spider ID, where I can show you, where we used to run all this, like whatever the code we were writing here, like x is equal to 5, y is equal to 6, and then we were printing hello, let's say hello world. So once I click on the run, it runs entire file. It stores the value of x is equal to 5, y is equal to 6, and then it prints hello world, right? In the same manner, we can do the same thing in Google Colab, and where let's say I have, but what is the benefit here? Actually, Google Colab, if it provides you the cloud computing, like if you don't have any laptop or anything, you can do the uh, you can write your Python script here and you can run it, and you can get the output, because it works on cloud based computing. So this is it. And you can start writing your code. So I will close this. And let's say what is the difference now between Spider and Google Colab? So let's say I have written 5 here, and then I have written 6 here. So I can run this uh, using here run cell. So you can press Control plus Enter, but otherwise you can just press here. So you see it's start doing its own thing, and now X and Y values are stored. Now you can add a new code line, and you can also print hello world. So what happens here? You have to like again run this cell to print hello world, and this cell is run differently, and this cell is run differently. So in the sense, you can write your small codes in different places, and then you can run them separately. So I will start using this. Does anybody have any doubt how to access this Google Notebook or anything? You can ask me.
No, sir.
Okay, so I assume like you guys are familiar with this one. So today I've decided that I will code all the things here. Okay, so let's start with this one itself. This code where we are defining a function and then using map function and then getting some output. So what I will do, I will I will create a new cell where I will define my function, define square, and it will take an argument x, and what it will return x square. You can define your function and run it using Control plus Enter. Now what you can do, you can have a number that is from 1 to 3. You can have a number of list uh, that is from 1 to 3 4. Now you can also run this Control Enter. Now what you can do, you have the squared number, and that is nothing but you are using a list, and then you are mapping it. So you are using a map function, and it is taking what? It is taking this square function that we have written earlier. Okay, and what it is doing? It is taking number Okay, no. So we should write square, then comma, and that iterable is number. So what it will do, it will take each value of number as an argument in the square function and will store it in a list, and that list has a name, yeah, square number, SQ number. Okay, now run this. Now let's print the square number. So once I print this, so it is giving us 1496 916. So uh, so I hope you have understood how this how this map function works. Okay, let's check what happens if we remove list from here. We can again run this, and we can again print this. So it is saying it is mapping object at this. That means it's taking something from this number, that and this square function has been mapped. Now it is returning multiple values because it's a iterable. So you want to store it somewhere. That's why you use list to store those values. And so once you run this, so it prints 14916. So these are the returned values of this square function. So I earlier told you that you should use a iterable here. So what happens if I don't use a iterable? Let's say I'm using 1. It's not iterable. It's not an iterable because 1 is an integer, and so it's not an iterable. Now if I run this, what will happen? It is giving us type error because it is saying that int object is not iterable. And what happens if I put int inside a list? You guys know that list is a iterable, so it should run smoothly, and yes, it did. Now once we print square number, it's just giving 1 because square of 1 is 1. Now we can use 2, and we can run it, and we can run this also. So it's 4. Square of 2 is 4. Okay, so did you guys understood how this map function works? Okay, thank you. So next, I will move on to today's topic, whatever we are going to discuss today. So my first question is, given the statement that chr in bracket ord alpha plus I returns the character, chr means character, ord means order, and returns the character, alphabet or special character at location I, and then the alphabet alpha. So uh, whatever this is saying, that means it is saying if you place something like alphabet A here, and you place order here, and you use +1, and then again convert it back to character, so it returns whatever value of A +1, and that means B. It will return B. So in this way, if I have written the following code, so what will be the output of it? So you might be saying like CHR, ORD, what are these things? So first let's see what are CHR, ORD, all these things. So to understand this, I will write, I will create a text, and this is uh, question 1. Then so question is, okay, now we want to understand what are CHR. Okay, I will share this code. So we want to understand what are CHR, ORD, all these things. So first we can create print CHR, no, order of A. Okay, so A is not defined because we haven't defined A yet, but we can have a string which we can define. So a string, let's say, oh, there is some again, it's wrong. Okay, now we can print this. So it's 97. Now if I put capital A here, now again I run this. So it's 65. So these 95 or 97 or 65, these are the ASCII value of A or small a. So in similar sense, if you put order, if you put print order uh, that this B, string B, that means it will print 66, and that is 65 plus 1, 66. So order gives you the ASCII value of any number. Now in this fashion, if A has order of ASCII value of 65, B has ASCII value of 66, so that means we can guess in the same sense that C will have ASCII value of 67. Now the question is, if we know that C has a ASCII value of 67, is there any function which can convert this value 67 back to the string value? I mean C. So yes, there is a function called CHR character. So we can use this in this way, and we can pass this 67 here, and once we run this, so we are expecting to get a capital C, and this is exactly what we have got. So I hope you guys have understood how this OR or C cap works. Okay, so now now I will come back to the PPT. Okay, so now you are are you able to guess what will be the output of this thing? So what we have a letter body A B C D E F G H, and we have defined an encrypt function. What it does, it takes a letter body and a key, and it creates an empty list, and then what it does, it goes through the each element of that list that is there in the letter body. It may it it so this letter body is nothing, it's just a string. Now we are using list, and we have put the LTR here inside this bracket. That means it will create a list, and we can then iterate through each member of this list. And then what it is doing, it is doing the append, and first it takes the character each, and that is inside this list of characters, right? LTR. Now what it does, uh, it uses ORD function, that means order of that character, and then increases by 1. Then it change so it this is the character. Now ORD changes it to the ASCII value. Now you can ASCII value is integer, and you can add 1 in that integer. Then again using char, you are again changing it back to what, character. Now you are appending a character inside this empty list, and what this is doing, return a double quote, and it's a dot join, that means join ls. So what it doing, whatever there is inside this ls, it will join it into one string. So I hope you have understood how this function is working. Now if I call this function using this letter body, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and store its output in D and want to print D. So what will be the output?
Option B.
Yes, because what it is doing, the first letter is A. So first letter is A here. So okay, maybe I can. So first letter is A, and so its character value is what? 65 here from here. Now you add 1 is equal to 66, and then what you do? You again use this function chr, and what it does, it converts back to the character value, right? So that means chr 66 will be B. So it means that if you give A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, so it will shift the each character by 1, and uh, in this way, what will happen? So okay, in this way, what will happen? A will be mapped to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F, F to G, and G to H, and H to I. Okay, so the correct answer will be B. Does anybody have any doubt? Okay. 4 was used to just confuse you. There is no use of 4. We can also use 4 in some clever way, like uh, we can encrypt it, we can increase that order A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and where we have used 1, we can put 1 plus key, and key is an integer, that is 4, so it will shift them by 4. So you can use that also. So key is something like you said it, you know already, and then you can modify your text according to that. Okay, now we will go. Okay, so does anybody have any doubt in this one? Uh, at some place, like yes, Disant. Yes.
Sir,
What?
written statement. Written statement. Explains
Okay.
written statement.
Okay. Return double this quote and dot join ls, right? This one.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So how it is working, I can show you. Let's say you have a list. So let me create a list here. List of characters. So I have a list of characters, and that is nothing but A, B, comma C. Okay, A comma B, comma C, comma D. Now what will happen if you run this? Okay, nothing. Now what you do this print joint characters is equal to single quote dot join, then you provide ls c. Now you print joint character. Now if I run this, So it's giving us ABCD. Okay, did you understood?
Yes,
So
sir.
yes, so it concatenates all the strings that are present uh, inside a list and gives you one whole string. So age character, like we can also do this otherwise, like we can use AB here and run this and run this. So you see ABCD. So that means it's using a string. So we have a list and there are a lot of strings. So we are using this double colon, I mean, means quote, double quote, dot join, and we are giving that list as an input, and it is giving us one single string as output. Okay. Okay, so I hope you understood. Now we will go to our next slide. So now the question is, what does the following code do? So we have defined a function guess, and we are giving some number, some integer as an input, and I'm saying guess a number. And if that so user will input some number here, and you know that okay, sorry. So you know that this input function, it returns a string, so you are converting it back to integer. Now you are saying if a equal to that number, so print success. Else if age equal to 0, print game closed. Else call that function again, this function, and the number. So it will call that function again, and then again the same thing will happen. So you might be noticing something here, age equal to 0 and game closed. So I have written this. I will explain it later on. But when I write guess 10, so what do you think? What will happen?
Sir, option A.
Option A. Yes, option A is correct because it will keep asking the user to guess a number until user guesses the correct number, i.e. 10, or enter a value 0. Okay, and that 0 value is here to ensure that this is an example of recursive function. So function is calling itself inside the function. Now once you have this kind of situation, what you do, you create a base condition, and that base condition is such that it ensures at some given condition the calling of this function will be stopped. So once, okay, so let's say if I didn't include this function elif condition, so what will happen? Let me code this, then you will understand. Okay, this is question number 2. So what I have done, I have defined guess and given some number, and I'm saying that if if okay, I'm then taking a number from the user, and okay, and what I'm saying a if number is equal to a, then print.
The screen is not visible.
Oh, sorry. Uh, thanks. Then I'm saying print success. Okay, and then it will stop. And otherwise, I'm saying else if a is equal to 0, then print game closed. If else call the function again with the same number. So this what we have defined. Now we can call the function guess 10 and then see what happens. So it's asking for a number, right? So let's say I'm entering 1. So what will happen? It will again ask for a number because 1 is not equal to 2. Oh, sorry, I will enter 2. So what is happening? You understand? So I'm entering 1 here. So it a is equal to 1 and so I have guess 10 and then 10 is not equal to 1. So what is and also in is not equal to 0. So it's just going to else and else is again calling this function again and again it is asking the user to provide some number and it's checking it whether it is equal to 1 it is equal to 10 or not or it is equal to 0 or not. Then it starts the this calling of this function again. So it goes on and on. Now if I enter 10, so what happens? This print success because there is nothing to no function has been called here. So this calling of the function stops. Now what will happen if I press enter 0? So it is saying us that game has been closed, right? Now let's say if I remove this condition from here, what will happen? So if I run this and then I run this again, now I'm saying you guys to guess 10. Okay. Now if I even though if I guess it correctly, so it stops. Okay, I can also do this. If I don't guess it correctly, so it will never stop. Maybe, okay. So until unless I am guessing it correctly, it will never stop calling itself. And what will happen? You will be never able to close this program, right? It you can only close this when you are guessing the correct number. So this is not very good when you are calling a function inside a function. That means you are using a recursive function. You should make sure that you should create something like this, some base condition which ensures that even though you are not able to guess, but if you provide a base condition that is age equal to 0, this will ensure that this loop closes. So this calling of the function closes. You understood what is I mean by creating a base condition while using this kind of thing? Okay. Okay, now this is very important. Otherwise, if if you are using recursive method anywhere, so make sure that you use some condition upon which satisfaction the calling of that function stops. Otherwise, you will be stuck in an infinite loop. Okay, now we will. So I hope everybody understood this. If somebody has some doubt at anywhere in this, then they can ask.
Sir, can we mention the data type while
What?
creating the function, sir? Can we mention the data type? Data type.
Okay, you want to mention the data type here, int, right? This thing.
Along with variables, sir. Int.
Oh, oh, int x. We can do this. Uh, No, no, I think it's no need because Python what it does. I think in C we have to define the data type, right? But in Python,
Sir, but we have different types of function parameters, different kinds of parameters in functions, sir.
uh,
Actual parameters, formal parameters.
like what? What are you asking for? Hello.
In my college, they said we can use data type in functions.
Data type means like
In
using float, char, or using list. Uh, I could not understand your question. Okay.
sir, it's like method overloading and method overriding, sir. Overloading, overriding.
Oh, that so it might be a bit advanced for this session. That so I think that you are talking about. So you can create your local variable and then you can create a global variable, right? And so you are saying that if they are of same name, then when they can be which variable can overwrite and other variable in this sense. So I will. Okay, if you have this doubt like overriding and overwriting, so I can tell you about this in next session. And
Okay, sir.
okay, okay, okay. So the next question. So the answer is correct. And the next question is, what does the following code do? So we are defining again a guess, and we are asking the user to input something between 1 to 100, and then we want to print a number. We are printing a and the number. Now that number, if a is equal to that number, it prints success. Otherwise, the function comes here and it takes something, takes an integer value, and that is randomly generated between 1 to 100. So, uh, okay, we are calling the function and storing it in I, but does not matter because once you have given random.rand int between 1 and 100, so what it will does, it will take some number from the user and it will compare that number to whatever the random number it has generated. And we actually don't know what number it would generate. Only after taking the input from the user it will print, and we have no control over it because over the number because it's a random number. And if we have guessed that number correctly, then that means a will be equal to that number and it will print success. Otherwise, guess random int again will take some random number between 1 and 100, and then again this loop will continues. So what are the which answer will be correct?
So option C.
Yes, because what it is doing, the computer generates a random number R and keeps it. So this random int will give some random number, and that number we don't know. And then it will call the guess function, and we will input some number, and then with this if condition we will compare that number, and if it is true, that means success. Otherwise, it will again generate some random number, and then we have to again enter some number, and this thing will continue. So the explanation is that user is repeatedly prompt to enter a number. If user enter the number R, the code says success and ends, because here we are not calling that function guess again. Else the computer generates a new random number R from here, and then the user means the prompting to user is continued. Okay, so that means if you run this code in your computer, if you fail if you fail to guess the correct number, this code will never stop. So here we can use some base condition, like we can say we can have some keyword, like we can have 0. 0 is not coming between 1 and 100, and that key so we can make a one case, like else if. We can make else if case where we can compare that if the entered number by the user is equal to 0, then print game closed. That means user wants to stop this calling of the function, this recursive function thing, with a base condition, then that will be stopped. Otherwise here it will be very hard to find that random number generated by the computer and the chances of guessing you, because it will be 1 by 100, because you are guessing one number, but the computer is generating a random number that is from 1 to 100. So among that 1 to 100 numbers, it will take only one number, and entering that number by you, it is has probability of 1 by 100, so very hard, and so it will keep running forever. Maybe you can guess, then it will stop. But what if you want to stop it because you are tired of playing this, and so you can create a base condition, age equal to 0, and print end game. So it will print end game once you enter 0. So this is how the base conditions are helpful. Okay. Okay, now so the answer C is correct. Now the question 4 is this. So here what is happening? We have defined a function multiply, and we are giving it a some number, and we are saying compare that number to 0, and if it is so, return us -1. Else if that number is equal to 1, return us -1. Otherwise return us -1. Then that function is called and multiplied with now the argument lesser, and so it has been decremented by 1, so number -1. Now what is happening here, if I am try to print uh, okay, if I enter some number n, so and I am calling this multiplied n, so it's calling itself again and again until the number has become 1. It will start decreasing its value to 1, at 1 it will stop. So I have created if condition number equal to 0, just to be make sure if somebody enters 0. Okay, otherwise if somebody enters 0, it will give us error, because uh, this condition elif condition will be never satisfied, and then this function multiply number -1, it will decrease that value by -1, and there is no such condition where you can have -1 and this loop will stop. So what it will do, it will create a multiple copies of this multiplied function, like infinite copies of this, and so it will give you the error. Okay, So it's just a fail safe. So can you guess what it is trying to say? Like what is the output of this?
Sir, option C.
Uh,
Sir,
yes.
option A.
Option A.
Option C, sir.
Yeah, so those who are saying option C, it's correct. Because what is happening, let's say if you have entered 2, so what will happen? It will compare that number 2 is equal to 0? No. So else if 2 is equal to 1? No, it's not 1. So what it will do? It will multiply minus 1 into multiply 2 minus 1, that is 1, right? So this function multiply minus 1. Okay, 1. Now this will come here again, and now it will compare, oh, number equal to 1, so return minus 1. So minus 1 multiplied with minus 1 will become what? 1. And so it's if the number entered is even number, it will give 1. If odd, it will give minus 1. This is what it's doing. So minus 1 to the power n. And you can have this, you can have the answer here. So you can also have this little explanation how it is happening. So I have, okay, Venkata, wait, I will take your question. So if you have entered 3, so what will happen? It will come directly here at this return function, and it will give us minus 1, and then it will multiply it with 2, because 3 minus 1 is 2. Then what will happen again? Minus 1, and it will compare that 2 with the 2 if and elif condition, and none of them are satisfied. So it will come again to this return function again, and what will happen? It will give us minus 1 into multiply 2 minus 1, that is 1. And then again it will compare, okay, this function will now come here, this multiply 1, and it will compare this condition, if and else if condition. Now you see that else if condition has that value, right? Minus 1. So, and now we are not calling the function again. So it will stop here, and it will give us minus 1 into minus 1 into minus 1, and that is nothing but minus 1 to the power 3, and that is minus 1. Okay, Venkata. So what was your question?
Nothing, sir. Solve. Clarified doubt.
Okay, okay, thank. Now we will go to the next question. So does anybody have any doubt in this one? I think it's very cool, this question. Okay, if nobody have any doubt, so we will go on to the next question. So here what is happening? I'm taking a I'm taking two inputs from the user, and I'm adding the two inputs, and then I'm printing the I and the type of that variable, which is storing the x plus y. So if the input is first input is 1 and the second input is 2, then what will be the output of this print I comma type I?
Sir, option C.
Option C.
What?
Option C.
Option C.
Option
Option C.
Option C, someone is saying option A, someone is saying option C, and okay, so I think we should check this on this Google Colab. What is the correct option, right? Okay, so good. I will store input the first number. So we will prompt it with this one, and then input the second number. Once we run this, so we are supposed to enter first number, that is 1. Then we are supposed to enter the second number, that is 2. Now what we are doing, we have this variable z. No, we have this variable I, where I am storing int x plus y. Then what I'm doing, I'm printing it and its type also, what type I is. So once I do this, so it is saying that 12 and the class is integer. Okay. Now what happens if I don't use this integer? Then what will happen? It will print 12 and class is string. Okay. So the option C is correct because we are formatting. We know, I have told you multiple times that if you take input from user using input function, so whatever the value is written by this function is a string. Inherently it is a string, and the y is also a string. So what will happen if you enter input as 1 and 2? So a string concatenation will happen. That means 1 and 2 will come together like A and B, but they are 1 and 2, and then because they are type of they are string, but they can be converted to integer using int function. So what happens is this converts that string to int function, that integer. Now that integer 12 is printed with type I, and that means 12 int. Okay, so option C is correct. Now we will go to the next question, and that is question number 6. So we are asking here, what does the following code do? So we are comparing if n is equal to, we have defined a function, we are giving it some number and comparing that number to 0 or 1. If it is so, then return 1. Otherwise, return n into that function with n minus 1. So if I have if I have stored that the result of this function in a result variable and call this function and given the input argument 5, so what do you think the what will be the print statement? What it will say?
Option A.
120. A 120.
What?
Sir, option
Option
A.
A.
Option A. So and so I think you have understood how this recursion works, how this calling of the function inside that function works, right? So here n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 1 is a base condition that stops the calling of this function again and again. So if I have given 5 here, that means that means 5 will come into factorial 4, and then factorial 4 will go here, and then it will be 5 into factorial 4 into, now n minus 1 means factorial 3, and then it will go again 5 into 4 into 3 into factorial 2, and then 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into factorial n is equal to 1, and then it will return 1, and then entire thing will be like all the calling of this multiple copies of the function will be closed, and you will have the result n is equal to, sorry, result is equal to 120. It will be the multiplication of all the values. Okay. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Does anybody have any doubt in this one? Anywhere, like how this function is working, how we are making sure that this will stop? Okay, does anybody have any doubt in the function, this recursive function itself, like how we are calling that function inside a function and how it works? Okay, if it is not so, then we can move on to the next question, and that is, so the answer for this is 120 because this is a simple factorial function. The next question is 7. So we are asking, what does the following code do? So we have defined a function, and it takes two argument I and f, and we are saying print I, and then what we are saying, if I is equal to 0, that means it is some starting value, and then f is equal to 1. That means it's some indicator, and then function is calling itself again, and it is increasing the I value by 1, and the f value is uh, same. And then again, if I reaches to 128 by this increment, so change the f value to -1, and with this changed value, what will happen? This I will be start to I -1 and f. Now we are saying again, now compare the f values, and the values are, if is equal to 1, then increase that I with this f, and f value, if it is equal to -1, then increase that decrease that I value with f is equal to this. So the question is, what does the following code like represents, which kind of scenario it represents?
Sir, option D.
Option D. Yes, because you can see that you are starting at the station 0, and you have an indicator F forward, that means go, and then it will start. Okay, so what happens? It will compare I is equal to 0 initially, and then it will start going from there with forward indicator. So it will go up to 180. So once the I value 128, so once the I value become 128, what will happen? The indicator will be f will be -1. That means reverse it. And what is happening with that? The I value start to decrease I -1. Now, so this last if condition checks, oh, if the indicator is -1, keep decreasing that I value. So what it does, it goes from 0 to 128 stations, and from 128 stations it goes to 0, and so on, so on. So it never ends. It's a closed loop. Means it's a kind of the function is designed so that it will call itself to eternity, because it will go and then come back and then go, then come back, this way. Okay, so the option D will be correct. Okay, so yes, Venkata.
Sir, can you explain once more, sir, in a clear cut way? I can't understand. I
Okay,
don't understand.
I can. So let me grab my pen here. So what I'm saying, let's suppose you have some stations that are 0 and 127. So last station is 127. Okay, 128. So that means 128. Sorry. Okay. So what will happen? So let's say you have called this function func, and you have given some value I and f. So you have given, let's say, a value 10, and your indicator is that go to forward direction. That means 1. So what it will do? It will compare, oh, I is not 0 and f is equal to 1. So I is equal to 0, then that condition work, but it is not so. So, and I is equal to 128, it is also not true in the case of 10 and f is equal to 1, right? I is equal to 10 and f is equal to 1. So where it will go? So it will compare f is equal to 1. Okay, it has got this f is equal to 1. Now what will happen? So it will increase the value of I with 1. So that means I will become now 11, and f is same as before. So it will go here. Now again it has become 11. So 11 will come here. So nothing is satisfied if these two if condition does not satisfy this. But this one does. Again f is equal to 1. That means I will increase by 1, and then the function f is equal to 1. So the function again call itself. So it will go to 13. Now this will keep on happening until I value changes to 128 by keep if it is keep on increasing. Then what will happen? We will change this indicator. Okay, okay, how to? Mhm. think I can arrange it. Okay. So okay. So no, okay. Turn off. So I want to. Okay, you know that it is written -1 here, right? Sorry, I don't know how to erase this. So okay, so what will happen? It reaches to 128. So I value is now 128. So what we are saying, change the indicator to -1. Change the indicator f to -1. So it has been changed. Now what will happen? The function will call itself and it will decrease that value I by -1. So it will go here and the indicator is what? -1 at this time. Now again, so you see you come from here, I is not 0, I is not 128, f is equal to not 1, f is equal to -1. Okay, if that's so, then what will happen? I will again go to I -1 and this f is what? -1. So it will go here with f is equal to -1. So it will keep on going this way. And once it reaches 0, so I will satisfy this condition, then this forward will be this f will be 1 and this function will be increasing that I value with this forward indicator f. Do you understood? Did you? Hello? Yeah. Venkata, did you understood? Okay, I think he's not hearing us. Can anybody confirm that they can hear me? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, so
Yes.
fine. So maybe he is
Yes, sir.
not. Okay, so did you understood?
There is no termination condition for this function, sir.
Yes. So it is. I'm saying now. I'm not saying it about the termination. I'm saying it will run till eternity because it's a train and it is going from here, then it is coming back, then it is going from here and then here. So, uh, it's kind of a scenario where hypothetical scenario where everything runs smoothly and it goes takes passenger from here to here and then comes back here, then takes again and so on. Okay,
Understand?
okay,
Okay. Thank you, sir.
okay. I will erase all. So option D is correct. Now question number 8. So I think so. These are first one. That's okay. This first one and the second one and the third one. Okay, I can do what I can do. This is the first option. This is the second, and this is the third option. So what do you guys think? What will happen with this code?
The second option, sir.
Second option. And why you are thinking so?
So the programming is running 6 times.
Program is running 6 times. Okay, so there is this last condition, right? This number equal to 1. That is the base condition, so that's why it is running 6 times. Because we are,
Because number modulo 2, even numbers only accept, even number
yes,
stars are printed. Only,
so even
only
numbers of stars will be printed, but the last one is the base condition because we are subtracting number -1 each time. So eventually the number will go to 1. Okay, so that's why 1 also will be printed and then the calling of this recursive function will stop. So maybe I can show you here in the Google Collaboratory. Okay, say this. Let's say we are calling that function that is recursive. So bit we define okay, okay, can sorry, 1 second. Now we have this. Okay, okay, let's define that function. Define star pattern, right? Star be some number, and then what we are doing? We are saying if that number equal to 1, print a simple star. Otherwise, print a star. Otherwise, what you will do? You will else if that number is modulo division 2, that means it will check whether it's even number, is there any remainder or not. Then what will do, it will print that star how many times, so it will multiply that number, and here I should use now. Okay, if it is also not true, okay, it will print this time and then it will call that function. So star function it will call, and what will it do, it will give us n minus 1. Else if, okay, else it will do star and minus 1, right? This was the question. Okay, and then okay, let's run this. Print, okay, no, not print. So we will call the function star, give it 10, and let's see what happens. Okay, somewhere there is a mistake in the, so you can see it like it's giving two, first it gives 10, 2, 4, and then 6, then 8, and then 10. So number 10 comes here, it's not equal to 1, but it is divisible by 2. So star pattern has been multiplied with number 10 and it has been printed, and the number has been now um, decremented by 1, so it's now 9. And the function comes here, it compares if 9 is equal to 1, no it's not. Is 9 divisible by 2 uh, is equal to 0, no its remainder is 1, so this condition not satisfied, so it will go on else condition. Now the number 9 minus 1 is 8, and 8 will come here. 8 is equal to 1, no. 8 divisible by 2, yes. So how many times it will be printed? 8 times. So that's why the second has this 8. Okay, but at the last, once it comes here, like n is equal to 2, so 2 divisible by 2 is equal to 0, yes. So how many times this will run? It will run it 2 times. Now what will happen? We will define an else condition. Okay, so what else condition will do? It will okay, so okay, here we came up to 2, so 2 minus 1 is 1. Now what will happen, this will go to here, that star 1, and that 1 is equal to 1, yes, then print star. Now it is not that calling that function anymore, so this stops and give us this pattern. Okay, does anybody have any doubt in this one? No, then we can move on to the next question. And that next question is this. So there are two questions. First one is what will happen if we don't check for a base case in a recursion? So the answers are the program will run smoothly, the program will
Option
return
C.
return a wrong output, the program will enter an infinite loop, the program will never run. And the okay, so the for the first question number 9, what is the output that you guys are expecting? What it should be?
Option C, sir.
Yes, because we will run in infinite loop because there is no base condition. So the function will start calling itself again and again. Okay, now we will go to the question number 10. What is true about recursion? Recursion increases the speed of the program. Recursion decreases the speed of the program. Speed of the program remains same. Recursion is easier to understand than non-recursive program.
Option B, sir.
Option A.
Option A,
Option B.
option D, option A. Okay.
Sir, option B.
Option B.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So those are for okay. So for this one, what happens? I told you like the once you call that function, you seen that multiplied function where that output was minus one ki power minus one to the power n, right? So what was happening? It was calling itself one time, then it was calling again, then again. So it was creating a multiple copies of itself. So inherently that calling of that function again and again makes the program slow. So inherently the recursion decreases the speed of the program. It may be easier to use, but uh, otherwise non-recursive program are also easy to understand. But what recursion does, it actually give us a nice kind of logical flow to understand any kind of recursion function. But it inherently makes it slow because you this function will call once, then it based on some condition it will call itself again and again and again. So it inherently makes the program slow. So options are C, that this loop without this okay, this recursion function will without base condition will encounter an infinite loop, and the 10 is that recursion decreases the speed of the program. Okay, so now what do you think about this one? What will be the output of this? Okay,
Sir,
they
10th one, sir.
what?
10th one. Sir, actually, by using recursion, the code will be reduced. The number of lines in the code is reduced. So,
So
the
yeah,
program speed will increase, sir.
okay, you are saying that
Compared with,
recursion is easier to understand than non-recursive program. Here we are not
no,
talking
sir.
of we are
The
not
option is yes, sir.
uh, what
Option is, sir,
option
by using recursion, the length of the code will be decreased. That means the will be increased, sir.
no, it's not so because in recursion what happens, okay, once you write a non-recursive program, what happens, the code execute one by one, right? But in recursion what happens, the code comes here, goes to that function again, then oh comes here, then goes to that function again. This creates a loop kind of thing. Do you see that?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so maybe you can put you can import time from okay, I will show you this next time how this uh, takes longer time. Okay, I will note this and I will show you using this collab or anywhere I can show this. Okay, okay, so you understood this one, right? Now this question number 11. So what do you think what will happen here?
Sir,
What
option A.
option?
Option A.
Option A. Yes. So we have a character A, and then what we are doing, we are using inbuilt functions char dot upper. So whatever the character is here, it makes that character uppercase. and char dot lower makes that character lowercase. So a is here, so upper character will be a, capital A, and the lowercase character will be small a, and so option A will be correct. Okay, now the question number 12. So what will be the output of the following code? We have a number and we have a dictionary that is empty, and we are doing something, we are using a for loop, and the range is between 1 to 10, and then we have a dictionary that was empty, and we are now indexing each value of it, each key value of it, or maybe you can say we are creating a new key value I, and then storing one value, and that is I square. So once I print the dictionary, what you are expecting to get in the output?
Sir, option B.
Option
Option
Sir,
C.
option B.
option B. Okay, so let's go to the Google Collaboratory and then see what happens. We have uh, we have empty dictionary that is empty. Now what we are doing, we are saying that for I in range 1 to 10, print okay, not print, the dictionary I value, I key I is now 1 to I to 2, and then this is done. Now print dictionary, right? What will happen? So it is, what is happening here, first the dictionary was empty, so we said that at zero value, at zero key value, the at zero key, the value of associated with that key is I square. So at uh, because it is starting from 1, so key is 1, and the value is stored with this 1, key 1 is equal to 1, and then we go to 2, and then the value stored with this is 4, and then we go to 3, and the value stored with is 9, means that square of that, and so on. So the option C is option B is correct. So option B is correct. Okay, I think it's too early to close this session. So I like touch anybody have any doubt from any class, previous class or something, so they can ask and I can tell them in the next class. Means whatever, any doubt from this class.
Sir, you said that you can explain map function next session.
Yeah, so
Map function.
I can explain it for you once again. Okay, because I explained it in the starting of this session, but I think you were not present at that time. Okay, no
Yes,
worry.
sir.
Yeah, I can explain that map function. I can do this. So about map function, so what I did, so you can see my screen, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you see, I have defined a function that is square, and it is taking an input number x, and it is returning us x square. Okay. Now I'm saying that numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that is, these two things, that you can define a function, you can have a list. So what I'm saying here, you can use a map function which takes a function, you define function that is square, and a iterable. Iterable is your list, because you know that you can go iterate through each element of the list using for loop, right?
sir.
Yes, if somebody asks you to print each element of a list, you can go like for each element in that list, print each, right? So that means you can iterate through that list. So we have the function, we have a iterable. What it will do, the map function, it will map this function to each iterable of that list. So if I have one, so it will say it will one will be the argument of this function. So x will be 1 and the next is 2. So x will be 2 and next is 3 in the list. So it will be 3 and all these functions are returning a number. Okay, and that number we are storing in the list. So that's why list. Again, we have written a list and inside that all these numbers are written. So once we print squared numbers, we are going to get 14916. Okay.
Okay.
So I
That
can,
means it maps each element in the list
yes,
one after one by one.
yes. And let's see us in the Google Collaboratory again. So here I have defined that function x square again. Okay, and I have a list of number that is number 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what will happen if we print square number 2? We are getting output 4, right? So, because this 2 is not an integer 2, it's a list with element 2. So, it can be iterated. So, that's why we are getting a number 4 as the output and we have used list inside. That's why this number is inside a list. Okay. Now what will happen if I put 2 here, only 2? 2 is iterable or what? Venkata.
It written four, sir.
It will return 4. You were saying it will return 4, right? Okay, let's check this. I am saying that 2 is not an iterable, so it won't, it will give us the value error. So if I run this, it's giving us, sorry, type error. That type is, okay, this type is integer. So it won't run. It will give us error. So we need to have a iterable here and on which it can map, on which element it can map. Okay, that's why once we print this, it will give us a square number, and we can pass that list also, the list of that number. That number is 1 2 3 4, right? 1 2 3 4. So once we run this and then we run this, it's what? It's 14916. 1 2 3 4 14916. Okay.
Sir, do you mean we can use map function along with list or tuple or using with the loops only?
You can
Yes,
use
sir.
any kind of iterable that you have.
That means tuples are list or dictionary, for loop or while loop.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Does anybody have any other question, doubts from previous class, this class, or any doubt? Okay. Okay. I think we can do code for printing star patterns. Like if we want to create a Christmas tree or something. So like means the star pattern we were printing earlier, it was one-sided triangle. So if we want to make something like this, where we print at top one, then at bottom two, then three, and then so on, give based on the given numbers of input. So if if anybody wants, okay, so we can have some number. Let's say 10. Let's say 5. Then what we can say for for I in range 1 to that number, print star. Okay, print star. So what will happen? This will give us something like this: 1 2 3 4, and each time this cursor is saying new line. But if I do this, if I do end equal to this, then what will happen? It is giving us all the input in one line. But we are interested in printing a Christmas tree, something like that. And when sounds be multiplied with I, what will happen? You can see it's one-sided triangle. Okay, so that means we need to print space here for the first one, so that it comes in between, and then for the second one, so and so on. Like we should place the star, first star in the in between, and then this one here and then one here. Okay, so how we can do that? So we need to okay, now we can think like we have one, two, three, four lines, and and it has to be in middle. That means there can be two spaces here at the first position. Okay, so we can do this like for j in range uh, number minus I minus 1, first print some space, print space, so all the values has. Okay, now it comes like this. Now what we can do, what we have done, we have introduced a space here. So for this one, the I was 0, so space was n minus I minus 1. That means 4, 5 minus 1, and that is 4. And so the loop will run uh, from what, like 0 to 1 to 3. That means 3 times. Okay, 5 minus 1 is 4, and that it will have 4 times, 1 2 3 and 4. We can print how many times it is running. Print j. So for the first time it was running from 0 to 1 to 2, and then for the second time it was 0 to 1, and then last time it was 0. Okay, that means, so I'm here just practicing this, like how we can write a code. Like if you guys are not interested, if you want to ask any question in the meantime, you can ask. I'm just writing here the like because I cannot in this class at this time. I have to like be here for half an hour more. So uh, here I am just showing you how we can write, uh, how we can uh, how we can think of something, and then we can print it. Like I'm just here writing a code to print a Christmas tree, but here I'm thinking how here I'm showing how you can think about it, like how you can think about writing something, or how you debug it, what are the things you think initially, then you say, oh, this is wrong based on the output, then you again change the code. So logical flow. Okay, uh, so it's up to you if you want to ask any question, otherwise I will do this. How to create diamond shape with stars. Okay, for the diamond shape. So that you have to that you can do using coordinates. No, not coordinates. But like first, if it has some logic, means like for a Christmas tree, I know that I can put the single star on the top, and then I can put one star here and one here. Then there will be two, and then third one will be here, here, and here, and then so on. The fourth one and so on. That I know. But for diamond shape, which kind of diamond shape you are referring to that you only know? So think of some logic. Maybe it will take more number of loops. My I think can be done only with two loops. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm saying like uh, so it will depend case to case how you want to print something. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm just printing this. Now I know like this is running 0, 1. So there are three spaces, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I
Your
can,
screen are not visible, sir.
okay, my screen is not visible. Uh,
Yes, sir.
now, now I should. Can you see now? Hello.
Visible, sir.
Okay, thanks. Okay, now I know that it's coming, it's running around this. So it, and we have a lot of space here. It's because it started running from 0, and 0 does not have any meaning here. So now we have 1, 2, and so how many times j is running, right? We need to print that. Print j. So once I is equal to 1, so j is nothing but uh, 5 minus 1 minus 1 means j is 4, and if the range is 4, so it won't go up to 4, it go from 0, 1, 2, because 3 will going to 3, it means that it will print 4, it will go up to 4, but I told you that range does not include that particular index, so it will go up to okay, that means it will go up to that three times, because number is 5 minus 1 minus I is also 1, so that's it. It's go from 0, 1, 2, because range is 3. Now then it will print a star here, and because the space is, these two spaces are now being added up here, and then it will again come here after printing the star here, and then it will have some spaces and so on. So we know that for the first time it will run for three times, then it will run for two times, then it will run for 0 times, means one time, and then it won't run at all last time, because the range will be range 0. Okay, now this is it. Now can we do something like this? Okay, we have this one. Now we want to move this star, this one, to the right of this middle one. So we can introduce a space here. Okay, once we go to the second line, we need to introduce a space. So it will not be we can we put j here, and then it's the right side one. Okay. Hmm. Somebody want to join. So if I print if I print star this number of times and spaces this number of times, print star I times, and then the end will be end means that in this will print in the same line, and then the spaces will be print uh, j times, and also print end equal to same. And then once it is done, then throw the cursor in the new line, print slash new line. Once we do this, okay, so it's printing only the one value, because yes, it's a true, because each time whatever the it is independent of I, right? Because it's not taking the I in consideration. Now once we do this, we have this, and this new line is coming, because you see there is gap here and then here, because we have introduced this one. If we remove the new line, the cursor won't be thrown in the new line, and after each print statement, okay, no, we can't remove that one. Then we can print here new line. Oh, still angle triangle. So what we can think here, if I have this, that means it should be n minus. Let's have a no. Let's make a note. Where I can do this. Empty space. Okay, so what we are trying to do, we have this. If we have some number n is equal to 5, let's say, so we want to have something like this. First we will have 1, then we will have 2, then we will have 3, and then we will have 4. Now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to put this one in the middle. That means and I have to also print odd number of times to be exact in the middle, but let's say for time being, uh, so it's 4, and it has to be in the middle. That means it has to be the number of spaces before this star comes should be uh, 5 divided by 2, and this one. So that means number divided by 2, and then I star. Okay, and for the this one, the number should comes only this one space, then star, and then star, and then third one there should not be any star. Okay, or means 5 divide this division is what, 2, and we can use plus 1 here. Then this will be third star, I mean third space star here, and then the second space, and the one star here, one star here, and this first space, one star here, one star here, and the last one no space. So this way we can create our Christmas tree, right? Oh, sorry, I thought you guys are seeing this. So now you can see what I was thinking. So this is what we are getting, and this is the number. Now we want to create something like this. So we can have this much space with this one. Then this space is what? This space is that number divisible by this 2 plus 1. Then that's the space, that number again reduces to this one once the next loop runs, and then again then this, and last one it does not have anything. So I'm saying that if I have a number 5 and I'm in a range, I will print stars one time each time. Okay, now I want to print spaces also. So, and that spaces will be nothing but number that I that number uh, being divided by 2 plus 1 minus I times. Now once I do this, so what will happen? Maybe I don't need to put this one. No, this. No, not this one. Yeah. Okay, run same line. It start to coming like this, but we should not print this here also, because we know that first we will print the space, then the star pattern. So first the for loop should do this work, and then the patterns. One, two, not okay. This is so. So what we have here? One, two spaces here. That means number is 5, and that division by 2, and then again it cancels out this, so there is only 2, and that is not the logic we have thought. So logic was like this will give us 2, and then plus 1. Okay. Okay, so logic it, we can have something counter which will count spaces, and that is nothing but 5 divided by 2 plus 1. And what we can do, we can print count, and then we can print this uh, into j times that count, and then decrease the count value to -1, and then we do this. Okay, then the and we can print slash new line. So just introducing a new line, so no need. Okay, now what will happen if we print the count value? Oh, no, 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 no. This went way wrong. Count is 3. First time it's 3, that should be. So for I in range, it will give us the 3 spaces, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3. Okay, uh, that's fine. And then we will print it and decrease the count. Then again j is 2, I is again I is 2, so and count has been decreased, so it will print 2 times. Okay, once it
Sir,
comes out,
your
once
collab window
once
is not
once
sharing, sir.
what? Oh, where just happens once I so I introduce a new line, print start slash new line here. What is happening to my spaces? No space at all, so it's not working. Does somebody can suggest me anything? What is I'm missing here? Uh, if we have this logic, so so 2 plus 1 initially, so means that 3 spaces, and that we are getting. Then it should decrease to 2 spaces. That means count minus 1. So 1 here, 1 here, and then it should print
Sir,
2.
your collab window is not presenting, sir.
No, I'm just showing the logic here, what I'm thinking. Then we can think of something. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Okay,
so
sir.
2 spaces, then 2 stars. Now this count should decrease to 1. That means 1 space, 3 stars, and the next time count will be 0, and that means no spaces and 4 stars. So based on that, I have done that. I have created a count, and that path the first time is 3. Then we are running a loop, and we are printing a single space, and int is equal to true. That means it will print that space in the same line and don't would not throw the cursor in the next line. And once it is done, so it is the cursor is still in the that same line, and then that's why it print star. Now this is done. Now this loop will run again. Now the count value has been decreased, so the count is 2. Okay, count is 2, so this loop should run 2 times. If I print here, print j, so no, it's or it should not printed here. It should be printed outside of this loop. How many times it has run? Okay, so we are seeing like it is only so count value is not changing somehow, and it should change. If my it should change, right? Because if we print count here, what will happen? No. I should decrease the count value here outside that loop. If we keep decreasing it in that same loop, it won't work for us. Okay, now we can do this. Okay, now we are seeing something. So let's close this one and then run this again. A partial. So one, two, one, and then what? How many spaces? One, two, and three spaces. That's fine. Then one and two spaces. That is also fine. And then one space. That is fine. And then zero space. So this code, whatever the logic we have thought, is working around that. So okay. So we have thought about this logic. So this is working fine. But the thing is, uh, this is not very kind of symmetric Christmas tree. So what we should do, we should actually avoid the even orders values, right? So it means like if it was two spaces and then three stars. So this third one will be in the middle. That means we should avoid if I modulo 2 is equal to 0, pass. Else what you do, else what you do, you have a print and then you do this. This is what I'm thinking. So you else you do this. Oh, invalid syntax. And what might be the reason? Okay, there is a space here. So this is the region. So once we run this, now again we are facing some kind of problem and it is printing. Okay, uh, pass else. If this is 2, that means pass the values which are like 2, the division of this 2. Now okay, so not like this. It will compare I and then pass the loop and should not print anything. Means it should print it here and then increase the count. Only will print. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Many? 1, 2, 3. Okay, something is appearing, some patterns. So this 2 should be eliminated, this 4 should be eliminated, and for that what we can do, if we can cut this condition from here and we can put it just before this. Okay, if statement indent block. Okay, this four spaces. This should run. Okay, so it's now starts filtering. So 1, 3, and 3 into 5, and then 3 and 4, 7, and then I think it will be 4 and 5, 9. So start doing that, but the number of the spaces, these are very random. Okay, so I think we should put this inside this one and then run this again. It's the same problem. So okay, this is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 spaces, and send middle. And then 3 should come with 6 minus 1 spaces, and that means once this condition is satisfied, means we can create a variable, something called flag is equal to true, and we can say if and we can make flag is equal to false, and we can only increase the count if compare flag equal to false, then only do this. Otherwise don't bother to do anything with the. Okay, we can come out of the island. No, still that same problem. Okay, somehow we have to reduce the count, and it should reduced only by 1. Once this code prints something, this space should be decreased. So if it is one, so control S. Okay, I can do here count minus 1. These things, this one also. No, these things. Come here. Yes, so it's now perfectly like we wanted. It's the same thing. It's a perfectly symmetrical Christmas tree. So So you must have understood how I think of it. Like uh, I have showed you the logic there. So I thought like the first star should be in the middle. So that should be n by 2 and plus 1, because n by 2 give you the number, and then plus 1 will increase your range to the middle. And then what we are doing, we are checking if the I, that means the star, is even, then remove it, because it will create asymmetricity in our star pattern. If I is equal to odd number, that is good. And then if it is odd number, print this much space, uh, n minus 1 space compared to the first line, and print that odd number of stars. Okay. And I think flag is doing nothing here. Just flag false true, you can remove it, because it is not doing anything. It's just saying that if I is equal to 2, pass it, otherwise just print it whatever left. Okay. So I think I hope like you have found it uh, found it good, because here I was showing how we can think of something if we want to do anything, how we can think of any logic. Okay. Does anybody have any question? Hello. Yeah, so there is someone is also saying this logic. Yeah, you can have your own logic, and that is good. So maybe it's just I didn't know how we can do this. I just thought of making a star, and I came up with this logic. Somebody has commented a different logic, uh, and if it is working, nice. Okay, so if nobody have any doubt, we can then stop this session here. So thank you everyone, and also I want to also acknowledge Professor Sudarshan Ainagar from IIT Rober, NPTEL team, and the PMRF team and Department of Physics IIT Kanpur for giving me such an opportunity to present and also discuss the problems of this course, The Joy of Computing Using Python, with you. Thanks. Thank you everyone. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Bye.